Okay. There's a tremendous amount of pain and angst and uncertainty collectively right now. And that which is being witnessed in my own life experience, witnessed in the life experiences of others. And I can feel that there's an urge to run. So instead of doing that, we're gonna sit outside and just express what wants to come through. There are a lot of souls, a lot of selves facing transition at this time in various forms. Change of form. Some of that is change of life situation. For many people, it will be change of job, change of housing. For many more, and what I am personally witnessing now is change of physical form. The transition from this physically incarnate form to formless. And I can feel the pain of that. And it's not wrong. It's not wrong for ego to feel this way, because it is ego, and that's not a judgment. That's not condemnation. Ego's not bad. Ego is not a mistake. And it's a part of this experience, and it's allowed to be exactly as it is. And it is perfectly natural for ego to feel some things in the face of what appears to be its own annihilation, whether that is happening directly to itself or through the witness of another. But all form is impermanent. It is the nature of form. It is the truth of all of this realm. Form arises, and then it fades away again, back into the formless from which it emerged. All things come and all things go. It is the nature of form. It is intrinsically unstable, in a constant state of evolution, and naturally, as is demonstrated with all things, it has an outward motion, an expansive motion, and a contraction, where it comes back to rest. But nothing is ever lost. It doesn't matter if anyone believes this. I can hold this knowing, and I will hold this knowing for everyone who doesn't. Nothing is ever lost. None of us go anywhere. When this form fades, as it does, as it will, nothing really changes. You don't lose consciousness. Consciousness, like life, is not a thing that you can lose, because it's not a thing that you possess. It is that which you are. You are consciousness. You are life. These things are one and the same. Your being is complete and eternal. It cannot be cleaved from you. When this form fades, that which we are does not go anywhere. It doesn't even miss a beat. It doesn't lose consciousness. That consciousness just transitions back out of the form. That's where it came from. It emerged from the formless into this form, and then it just flows back out into the formless, but it's not lost. It doesn't forget. A drop of water that evaporates from the ocean and condenses into a cloud and then is rained back out into the ocean does not forget itself. It doesn't lose itself. The loss of boundary, the loss of definition is not the loss of self. It's only ego that perceives that, because ego is the small self based on separation, based on this illusion of separation. It believes that if it doesn't have this separation, it doesn't have a self. That's not true. It's just ego's false understanding, misunderstanding. And that's okay. In every dimension above this one, and this is recognized by science, there are no boundaries. Lines, planes, that which we would call a plane, intersect freely. They loop in on themselves. If you've ever seen a Mobius strip, it's sort of a demonstration of what that's like. It's infinite. It is an infinite plane. It's continuous. And actually it can expand and contract just the same. But there is no boundary. The truth of reality is that there are no boundaries. There is no singular self that is separate from. There's no you and there's no me. There's self. There is consciousness. We are the same self. We are the same consciousness. But the individual experiences are not lost when we merge back together into this unified organism with unified awareness. We retain all that is essentially us. Everything of value is retained. Everything that was illusion is left behind because it's revealed to be illusion. Because you see it clearly. Oh, that was all made up. I don't need that. I don't need that anymore. So all of the pain, all of the suffering, all of the doubt, all of the fear, the worry, everything that ego and shadow created that was a part of the illusion is immediately revealed to be such, and so is left behind because it's known to be not true. It serves no purpose. It's unsubstantiated. We don't carry that with us. What we do carry is all of the true value, all of the meaningful experiences, the experiences of connection, of love, of freedom, of assurance, of connection. That carries over. And it feeds into consciousness, the very same consciousness which is flowing into and inhabiting all of these forms all of the time. That's why consciousness is awakening, because it keeps having this experience, and every time it remembers more of itself. So every time it incarnates again, it brings more of that wisdom forth with it. That's how this works. That's how humanity is awakening, is ascending. That's how consciousness is awakening to itself in fullest form. Every time it learns a little bit more. Every time it has a few more awake, aware experiences of true connection, of true love, of presence, of itself. Those things are retained because they're real. And everything that's unreal is just released because it's not necessary. But we are building the awareness of awareness. It only gets more aware. It only gets bigger and stronger and better and more well and more assured and more steady. And when this form ends, we, the consciousness, does not go anywhere. It's not a problem. Death is not a problem. It's not bad. It doesn't harm anything. It doesn't harm us. Death is not dangerous. It's only the mind from its limited perspective that perceives it as such. But when you see from the higher perspective, when you are yourself, you are your soul, and you embrace and embody this knowing, this higher wisdom and knowledge, you know and you see the transition of form is not bad. It's not wrong. It's not a problem. It's not something to be afraid of. Ego will feel the way it feels. That's fine. But beneath all of that, you have the truth. You have the knowledge, the broader awareness of what's really going on. That nothing has gone wrong. Nothing is bad. Living and dying are not a problem. They're just states. The sun rising and the sun setting. None of it affects the continuance of the sun. Just because one life experience has a sunrise or a sunset does not mean that is the end of life or life experience. And it's not the end of you. It's the end of a form. That's it. There will be more forms. Why? Because it's delightful to flow into them. Because this is how the self learns and grows and expands and truly comes to experience itself at the deepest level. Without this illusion of separation, we could not appreciate the truth of connection. Without some belief of this false reality, we couldn't really appreciate the value of the true reality. So nothing has gone wrong, nor can it ever. No conditions are good or bad, they simply are. And when it's perceived from the highest level, we can see that even that which the mind, which the ego would call bad or wrong or scary or sad, is none of those things. Nor is it calling of any condition those things a problem or bad or scary. It's all simply what it is. It is all simply what is. And truly at the highest level, it's all going right. It is all going exactly the way it's intended. So the end of form is not bad. Let ego feel what it feels. It's allowed. But get in contact with this deeper place of knowing, of awareness, of peace. This is the peace that knows no opposite. This is the peace that is so steady and sure that even with sadness, even with grief, riding on the surface level, it's not disturbed. This water remains still and pure. Whatever storm is raging, whatever waves are crashing on the surface of self, at the core, it remains steady. And your contact with this core keeps you in that steadiness. It doesn't prevent emotion from happening. You still feel emotion. The experience of it is just different. It's not so frightening. It's not so serious. It's not so heavy. It's not bad, and it's not wrong. It's just what is. When you allow what is to be as it is, then you are aware that no matter what changes, you are unchanged. You are eternal. You are steady. You are sure. And you become aware that this is true of all being. Because all being is one. It's shared. We are being. And so this helps in witnessing the transition of other forms which consciousness has inhabited. You are aware that even in that transition, nothing is lost. Nothing has gone wrong. Nothing has changed, really. So you put on a different hat, a different costume, a different set of clothes. Nothing's changed. It's just the outer appearance. It's just the illusion. It's just the cloak. inside the core, the essence of that being is the same. And it remains the same. It remains steady and sure and eternal and well. Your well-being does not end with death. It continues. If anything, it becomes more well. You become more conscious of the truth, the depth, the purity of that goodness, the wellness of being, that being which is yours. We're here to hold this knowledge, the frequency of this, hold this in view, in focus, so that this peace becomes more accessible to all consciousness. And we're able to hold it because of other consciousness that has come before and found this place and chosen to reside here, to set up residence, to make this the dwelling. And in holding this frequency has opened the door, the pathway for us to enter. Now we join the ranks of the way showers, and the way must be shown by example. By holding this place, this knowing, this wisdom, this awareness, we shine a light. We open the door wider, we clear the path so it is more readily accessible for all. And all consciousness seeks this, seeks the truth of itself, the knowledge of itself. Let it be found. Let it be known. Let it be known by you. And it can only be known right here and right now. For that is all that is. No one goes anywhere. Everything is here and now, eternally and presently. Present tense. It's accessible. There is no separation. And there is nothing missing here. All of the love and light. Peace.